Hey guys, Sean C. Phillips here with my brand new DVD Blu-ray Tuesday shopping video today. They're going to go out, see what things count today, see what things are on sale. I know, the big releases today, are War for the Planet of the Apes. And I don't know if there are any exclusive editions of that one that come out today or not. So definitely going to check. And the other one that comes out today, the big title, is Annabelle Creation, which is one I really liked that one. Thought there was actually a pretty good, it was a prequel to the first film, but it was actually better than the first film, but really did like that. Also, the end of this video, going to have some new DVD and Blu-ray reviews for some stuff I received to review and talk about. I also wanted to mention too, this weekend on Saturday I'm going to be at Stan Lee's LA Comic-Con, so I'm going to be there, walking around and stuff. So if any of you guys are going there and you see me, definitely say hello. But anyway though, guys, let's get going and see what we can find today. Into Target we go. And I see a big standee over here for, War. I keep always mixing it up as War for the Planet of the Apes. But I don't know if they have anything exclusive in here. It says 7 hours of exclusive features, but I'm pretty sure these are just the ones that are on all the releases of this one. It's $19.99 for the standard Blu-ray here. Yeah, but it doesn't look to be any, only at Target ones of that I see here for that. And I don't see any 4Ks. Oh, the 4Ks are all over here. The 4K for that one is $24.99. We'll have to see if they have any, exclusive of this, at Walmart or Best Buy. I didn't hear too much if there was or not for this. They still do have a whole lot of the Stranger Things, as you can see. Look at how many are still left. So all the Targets definitely did get tons and tons and tons of copies of this one. But still is a really, really cool release, though. But it's, it seems like one of those ones that would have been kind of a limited one, but definitely was not limited, as you can tell with how many are still left. And they still have a whole lot of copies as well of Spider-Man Homecoming, their exclusive release of that one. Other than that, like I said, Annabelle Creation was one of the other ones that released today, and that one here is $22.99. But like I said, really did like this one a lot. Really pretty creepy movie. Same with War of the Planet of the Apes. I thought this one was another really good one. Down the line when this is cheaper though, I'll definitely pick this one up. I feel like this is one of those ones that sometimes even for Black Friday, even though this just released, it sometimes ends up being only $10, so you never really know. But really was a good, final chapter to the series. But I feel like there could end up still being more, but you never really know with these. And over here in the kids section over here, they have the Emoji Movie, which came out today as well. That's $22.99 for this one. And this one comes with this only at Target PopSocket kind of thing on here that you put on the back of the phone and kind of can hold the phone. But I'm gonna have a review of this one at the end of this video, so definitely stay tuned for that. And last week they didn't have this one put out. They have the lenticular cover, or maybe was this last week or the week before? I'm not 100% sure, but the lenticular cover here of Batman versus Two-Face here. This is one of the only at Target releases of that one. And it is kind of funny with Planet of the Apes though, with the new one, because I feel like I always remembered them having I think it was the digibooks for the past releases, the past films, I thought. So it was kind of weird. This sort of seemed like one of those ones that there would have been exclusive. So we'll have to see, like I said, if they have any exclusive ones at Walmart or Best Buy for that one today. Into Walmart we go. And I see over here a big stand for, War for the Planet of the Apes as well. Their one is $19.96 for the standard Blu-ray and $24.96 for the 4K of that one. But again, it doesn't seem like there's any exclusive ones over here. I'll look over in the section as well, but doesn't seem to be any exclusives for this one. So we'll have to see if Best Buy has one. And over here though, yeah, in the actual section though, I don't see any exclusives as well for this. This one did come out today as well. It has all of the Planet of the Apes trilogy together on Blu-ray. I think these are, yeah, so they're actually a pretty decent price for all of these together in here. This one's only $29.96 for all of them, or $39.96 for all of them on 4K. So that's definitely a pretty good price. So you're getting them for only $15 for the other two on 4K. And they have this Emoji Movie one here that comes with this, only at Walmart gift set one that comes with this little emoji plush thing. That one's $22.96 for that edition of that one. And they also have, this wasn't out in here last week, this only at Best Buy Spider-Man one that comes with these little squashy kind of toy things in here, and one of them's a mystery, one of them's Spider-Man, the other one is a mystery, which is in that. Their Annabelle Creation is $22.96. Also, what's released today was this one called Bushwick, and that one's $16.96 for the Blu-ray of that. And I'm going to talk about this at the end of this video, the Inconvenient Sequel that released today. this one, Where's the Money, you know, with Logan Paul released, as well as The Good Catholic, which I'll have a review of this one as well at the end of the video here. And this is another set. I think this is one of these, I don't know if this is only at Walmart one. It's like only on on DVD though, which has, you know, both the Conjuring films and the Annabelle films in one set for $27.96 here. Into fries we go. I haven't been in here in a couple weeks. I don't usually find too much in here, but every so often they have some really decent sales on some older titles, and some stuff in here can be like really, really cheap. So we shall see if, you know, there's anything different on sale today in here. But it's kind of funny in here today though, like I don't see any like sale tags. Normally like on the front in here, there's always like lots of sale tags. Like I literally see absolutely none in here whatsoever in here today. So it definitely does not seem to, at the moment in here, be much on sale at all. Like usually there would be like something in front of some of these ones, but it seems like in here, absolutely no sales whatsoever. So no super cheap prices in here. The one thing is though, this place really is good for finding like Arrow video titles. They have like a whole Arrow section, and you can get like, you know, the Hellraiser set in here, and that's a really good price, you know, $60 for this set. So you can definitely come across though some really good stuff in here though, but you really have to look. Yeah, but see, like right here though, this whole section is all Arrow stuff, like the Hills Have Eyes set here, and they even have the gigantic Herschel Gordon Lewis big set here in the cereal box. So that's actually cool. I haven't actually seen this really that many places in person, so that's definitely cool. Like I said though, for Arrow titles though, this definitely is one of the best places I would recommend though to come and find them in person, and for some really decent prices on these ones as well. And this past weekend I saw two different films. The first one I saw was Boo 2, A Madea's Halloween. You know, this was the second of the, you know, Boo Madea films. I've pretty much seen most of the films that Tyler Perry's directed, and pretty much all of the Madea films. I always think they're fun movies. This one though was really, really awkward because for some reason there was this really awkward editing and dubbing in the film, because I had read that the movie, and I don't know if this is all true, kept on getting an R rating and had to keep on going back again and again and again, getting recut to try and get to a PG-13 rating. So there was times when like the dialogue, it was weird too, it was dubbed, because like times, you know, Madea's character was saying damn, other times it was edited over really bad to be like darn, like, and like the worst ADR I'd ever heard in my life. Like I don't know what was going on. It was so much dubbing and ADRing in the movie. It was so awkward. Like I truly thought like I was seeing a TV edit of a movie, like something where it would be really cut for TV, you know, watching that in a theater. That's what the whole movie felt like. And if any of you guys saw the movie too and you noticed that, let me know, you know, what you thought with the thing. And like, I don't know, it's just a really strange thing going on with it. The other one that I saw was the you know, the Michael Fassbender film that he stars in, The Snowman. And that one's got some really, really low reviews. And it was kind of, it felt to me like a Brian De Palma type vibe film. It was not perfect at all. I did not, to be honest, like it that much. There was some stuff about it, like the cinematography, the music, like the look and everything in the movie was really good, but the story, it felt really all over the place, and kind of like, it was one of those movies that might have originally been like 3 hours, and then it kind of got cut down to 2 hours, so like there was a lot of places where there wasn't too much explanation of what was happening. It was kind of getting a little confusing, and then like people like Val Kilmer who were in the film, they felt like really edited down and underused in the movie. And it was like about this guy who was killing people and you don't know who it is, and like leaving these snowman clues, and Michael Fassbender's going around trying to figure out who is the killer and investigating the whole thing. It was an interesting movie, but nothing perfect. You know, this coming weekend though, I can't wait to see, you know, Jigsaw. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like, you know, with the last Saw movie, everyone kind of got to the point where they're like, okay, enough of these Saw sequels, but now it's been a number of years, and I kind of feel like, you know, it'd be kind of cool to, you know, to actually see Saw again. So I am interested in seeing, you know, how that one is. So that's definitely one that I will be checking out. But let me know though what you guys saw this past weekend though. Into Best Buy we go. Yeah, and it doesn't look like at all there's any exclusives of War for the Planet of the Apes. That's so strange though, because like I said, I felt like there was always some exclusives of the Planet of the Apes ones in the past, but doesn't seem to be any whatsoever for this one today. Like I felt like there might have been something, but doesn't seem to be. Other than that in here, I see one thing here. I don't know what this one is. I don't know if this came out this week or when this one, movie called Drib. Some movie called like Drib, Stay Awake or something. I don't know anything about this film here. Yeah, I don't know if this was this week or not, but this one looks kind of interesting. I think that may have come out this week, but other than that though in here, I don't see anything else in here really too different today. And I think this one may have released today, this one Mind Blown. I'm not 100% sure, but other than that, that seems to be all the major things that came out today. And I think this might be new, the entire set here, you know, the complete series of Teen Wolf for $79.99 for that one. And these sets here are kind of interesting, these like 5 iconic sets, 5 iconic film sets that are like 80s films here, and they have one of, you know, 90s films, like stuff like Clueless and Superstar. These are just, you know, like repackaging of the original discs, but kind of an interesting one if you guys don't have any of these ones for $19.99 for, you know, all those ones together. So anyway, guys, that's all for this DVD Blu-ray Tuesday shopping video. Like I always say, guys, if you enjoyed these shopping videos, definitely give this video a thumbs up, and thanks again for, you know, for always checking these out, you know, out each week. But anyway, though, guys, now stay tuned now for a couple of new DVD and Blu-ray reviews. And before I get to reviews, I want to show this cool shirt I got sent here. It's a RoboCop shirt, and you know, it's from the guys at Comet TV, which is a TV channel, and you also can watch it online. You go to the website, you can stream it. It's on like Roku and stuff like that, but you can stream it live. And they play a lot of like science fiction, horror movies, TV shows, all that kind of stuff. And this month they've been playing a lot of like real obscure stuff like Monster Dog, Prison. Sometimes they come back, so a lot of different stuff on here. And they sent these buttons as well for the, you know, promoting the channel, as well as this cool pen that looks like something out of Reanimator. But they should be sending some shirts and stuff in the future, so always cool, you know, to have, you know, new shirts to wear in the videos and the thumbnails and all that kind of stuff. Now, the first one I got here from Arrow Video from their Our Academy line is the last film that Fellini directed, and it's called The Voice of the Moon. And the main actor in this, he's Roberto Benigni, I believe. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right, but, you know, he was from, you know, Life is Beautiful. This is probably like one of the saddest movies ever. I remember seeing that one. They played it in school too, and I remember watching it and like getting really, really upset in the class and stuff because it was just such a sad, sad movie. But this is a really, you know, if you know Fellini's movies, they all have like amazing visuals and amazing kind of like sequences. Like the cinematography is amazing. This is this guy who, you know, recently got out of you know, the mental asylum, and he's kind of wandering around. He's kind of sort of trying to find this woman that he loves, and he's like going to all these sort of weird type of locations and meeting all these quirky, weird characters like in graveyards that are like, you know, hiding out in tunnels and all these kind of weird locations and stuff and weird spots, and kind of follows them around too. It's just such a quirky, weird, different movie. It has on here though a brand new 2K restoration of the film, as well as a rarely seen documentary on the film's productions, you know, the production of the film, which has interviews with Fellini and some of the cast members and stuff. But a really interesting movie. Like I said, if you guys are a fan of Fellini's films, this is the last film that he directed here. The next one, I just literally finished watching this right now, and this is the Criterion edition of Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. And I'm a huge fan of Twin Peaks. You know, the new season of this, you know, the season 3 of the show was amazing. I don't know if, you know, he will continue on and do another season or not, but this movie, too, the one thing with this, though, is if you guys have not seen the show, don't watch this one, though, until you've seen the show itself, because this has tons and tons of huge spoilers. Because, you know, if you know the show, it's about, you know, Laura Palmer's character, who is, in the first episode, is found dead, and it's kind of like the investigation of Agent Cooper trying to figure out exactly who was behind the murder. But in this one, you kind of figure out who it was, so, like, you know, like I said, you won't want to watch this one, because it kind of leads into the show, and it's, you know, Laura Palmer's characters and the kind of stuff that she's going through that leads up to her death. And it's some really, really trippy, weird stuff that happens in this. It also, in the very beginning of the episode, there's this other girl that's found dead, and it's, you know, Kiefer Sutherland's character and Chris Isaac's character as these FBI agents kind of investigating the murder, and then, like, you know, that kind of ties into Laura Palmer's murder as well. But just a really, really interesting movie. I really love the stuff to Twin Peaks, you know, that David Lynch does. I've loved all of his stuff. It's not something that's for everybody. You know, some people, it's really not their type of thing, and because he's really, like, abstract and really weird kind of visuals and odd things that happen and really off the wall and kind of long scenes that go on a very long time of really odd elements. And I don't know, to me, though, I love his stuff. This has on here a 4K transfer of the movie. It has on here the missing pieces, which is 90 minutes of deleted and alternate takes from the film, 2014 interview with Cheryl Lee, Ray Weiss, new interviews on here with Lee and the composer on this, as well as there's a booklet in here with a number of, like, a lot of different, oh, you take it out like this, a number of different pictures and stuff from the production in here. I don't think there's anything I can't show in this, but there's, like, you know, Just one that I would highly recommend. You know, this was also available in the box set, but this one has some new interviews and stuff in it, and as well as it's in this cool edition. So it's like, if you guys are a fan of this, though, I think it's definitely worth picking up to have it in this version, and, you know, especially released through Criterion. The next one here from Broad Green Pictures, and this is a pretty interesting kind of different take on like a relationship dating kind of thing because of the subject matter. It's called The Good Catholic, and this is about this woman who is, you know, found out that she's dying and she's sick. And she goes to the kind of talk to a Catholic priest, and she's not someone who's religious or anything like that, but she doesn't really know how to deal with planning for her own funeral and the funeral arrangements and things like that. So she actually goes to talk to this priest about it, and the priest is kind of taken back by how she's acting, because she kind of has like a free spirit kind of way about talking. She kind of talks to the priest kind of weird, and has kind of, because she doesn't really know anything about church, or that never really was her thing. So she's kind of talking to him kind of different and stuff like that. And it's kind of about the friendship that she kind of forms with this priest, and kind of going and seeing him all the time. But it kind of, there's a little bit more to it, because this priest is kind of like questioning, you know, kind of his faith, and if going into being a priest was what was right for him. Because then he's starting to kind of have sort of feelings for this woman that he's seeing, and he doesn't know if it's like exactly what it is. And it's an interesting kind of take on the whole thing. John C. McGinley's in it, you know, is as a fellow priest, kind of, and he kind of has like some of the comedic kind of aspects of the movie, and as well as Danny Glover is in here as like the older priest who's been at the church for years. And it's kind of just like a relationship thing about this priest and this woman who is sick, and kind of the things that he goes through about him like questioning his faith and everything. But a pretty interesting movie here, like a different kind of thing. The next one here from Paramount, this is the follow-up to The Inconvenient Truth. This is, you know, the Al Gore documentary. This is called The Inconvenient Sequel, Power to Truth. And this is actually in here, in the packaging to this is made from 100% recycled material here. So this is kind of interesting thing, like a kind of like a thin case that's all made out of like a kind of, I guess, like paper kind of thing. It's an interesting kind of recyclable thing for it. But this is the documentary, you know, the Al Gore, about, you know, global warming, and it's him kind of still talking about global warming, because like things have gotten worse with, you know, the melting ice caps, and it's him kind of going to kind of areas and showing the results, like some stuff in Florida about how they have this awful flooding that's going on there, and they're always having to constantly pump the water out. And he goes to the ice caps and shows how, like, you know, some of the areas, how much it's like gone down over the years and that kind of stuff. And it's sort of like him trying to get people to vote for the one bill that was kind of, you know, signing to kind of help, you know, keep from having more of the global warming kind of things happening. It's a kind of interesting thing here, and just shows, you know, some of what's going on in the world and stuff. And it has on here some featurettes on here, as well as a music video on this one. If you guys are interested in this stuff, though, I just want to let you guys know this one is available. This one was kind of interesting. I was interested in seeing this one, and this is the Target exclusive one. Sony sent over the one that was the Target one. It has one of those things you can put on the back of your phone. That I think so it's like so you can kind of stand it or hold it with your fingers and stuff. I had always seen people with those things and never knew exactly what they were. But this is, you know, the Emoji Movie, and this is kind of interesting. It's got some negative reviews and stuff on it. But it's basically, though, about the world of emojis, you know, and it's all set in the world of this one kid's phone. And it's this one emoji who's kind of like the meh, like the kind of like, like face like that. And it's kind of, it sort of shows how, you know, emojis in this world, because it goes into the phone of the world of the emojis, how they kind of have to always be their personality. So, like, they have to kind of have that expression. If they're happy, they're always happy. If they're sad, they're always sad. But this one character, you know, he is always sort of like, for some reason there's something with him, and he's not to, like, he's always kind of changed his expression. People always kind of looking at him weird. And he finally goes to the day when he's going to be on the switchboard where they pick him out for the emojis on the kid's phone. And he ends up, you know, screwing up and making the wrong face. So he ends up being considered a glitch. So he's going to, like, on the run from them. And they basically want to erase him from existence. So he has to kind of go and find these people to try and fix him, so he doesn't get, you know, erased from existence from this phone. It's kind of like the adventure and stuff that he goes through. It also has on here a bonus short film on here, which is a Hotel Transylvania inspired short film, as well as a dance along music video on here and some featurettes on here, but kind of a fun thing, definitely more for kids and stuff though. The next one's here from Gravitas Ventures. This is one here called The Honor Farm, and this is kind of an interesting, different kind of prom kind of film. It's about this girl who's like going to prom for prom night, and it's like she goes with her friends there, and things kind of, both of their dates, it really falls apart. Like the one guy like leaves her the one night at the prom, and the other girl's like boyfriend like goes with somebody else, and like kind of is like a drunk mess and stuff. So they end up going to the liquor store, and they see these kind of friends of theirs, like, oh, we're gonna go to this honor farm, and you guys want to come along with us. And they're like, since the night is kind of falling apart so much, they decide to kind of go along with these girls out to this farm area where it's like an abandoned asylum, jail kind of place. So they go out there, and they meet some other guys and stuff there, and it's kind of like they go out there and do some drugs and stuff, and the whole movie is sort of them kind of like talking about their problems. It's set in this sort of horror kind of vibe going on out there, and they kind of wander into that that abandoned building, and then they start kind of seeing weird things, and weird things happen. They're seeing weird kind of visions. It's a very different take on a horror movie, because it's a horror movie, but yet at the same time, you don't know, because of them with the drugs and stuff they're doing out there, you don't know like if they're imagining some of this, or if there's something really going on out there, because this was kind of like considered a haunted kind of location that they go to. But a kind of an interesting, different kind of horror film here. And the next one here from Gravitas Ventures as well is one called Dave Made a Maze. This is a pretty interesting, quirky, weird film. It's about this guy who makes this maze out of cardboard and stuff in his living room, and his girlfriend comes home and is like, what's going on? There's like this really cheesy looking like cardboard maze and stuff, and he's like, oh, I don't know what to do, I can't leave, I'm trapped in this maze. She's like, well, just come on out of it, because it's like, it looks like this small little thing. And then like he's like, I can't, it's and she's like, I'll just break it down and get you out. He's like, no, don't break it, you can't break it. And he's in there acting really, really strange and really peculiar. Then she kind of brings over some of her friends. The friends is like, what's going on in there? And she's like, oh, he can't leave this thing. And they're like, just tear it down. He's like, no. So then they all go into this maze, and they come to realize the second they go inside this maze, it's this huge, enormous labyrinth thing. They have no idea exactly why it's a labyrinth, or what has happened here, and why this little cardboard maze turned into this huge real maze. So they all go inside of there, and these other friends come along. They bring a camera filming the whole thing, because they think the guy is actually cracking up, until they actually get in the maze. Then they find themselves trapped in this maze, trying to find the one's boyfriend, trying to figure out how they're going to get out of there. And of course, though, in this maze there's all these traps and stuff, so then like some of them are getting killed, and if they get killed, like confetti shoots out of their head, and then like there's scenes when they turn into like sock puppets, and all these really weird kind of things are happening in this maze. It's a very creative like film though, because it's like all these kind of elaborate things that are built all out of cardboard and weird type of stuff. It's making me think of that episode of Bobby's World, when Uncle Ted and Bobby went into that weird maze they crawled through of like paper and stuff like that. But I don't know, it's sort of making me think of that. But it's kind of them trying to figure out how they're going to get out of this maze. Has on here though, behind the scenes featurette on here, a commentary track with the director and screenwriter, as well as deleted scenes. The next one here, Warner Brothers sent over a free copy of this one to let you guys know about. This is Samurai Jack, the complete 5th season. This show ran originally from like, I think it was like the early 2000s, I believe. And then it has been off the air for a really long time, and recently came back. This is basically about the Samurai Jack character, who's kind of like, fighting, evil villains and things like that. And he's sort of like from the future and stuff. I don't know too much about the show. I watched it a little bit when it first aired, so I don't know a whole ton about like the whole backstory of the show and stuff. But I do remember though that it, had been gone for a long time, and then like, had just finally returned. But this has on here the 10 new episodes of the show, as well as featurette, The Evolution of Jack, as well as pitch movies on this. But it's actually a pretty well animated show here. If you guys are fans of the show though, definitely want to let you guys know this one is available here. The next one here, and I'll put a link for where you guys can get this one, but this is from Level 33 Entertainment. This is a fun zombie movie called Granny of the Dead, and this is basically about this, something has happened in this small town, and all the people who are old have like turned into zombies, and it's kind of like these friends that are like discovering that this is happening in the small town, and then other people, if they get bit by these old people, then they turn into zombies as well, so then there ends up being zombies all over the place, like more and more of them. But it's basically basically, though, about these friends trying to, you know, figure out how they're going to, like, survive from the, because some of them are all in different kind of locations and areas around the small town, and trying to, you know, stop these evil old zombies. It's kind of like a quirky, kind of like, sort of has like a Shaun of the Dead kind of feel to this a little bit. The producer of this was the guy who directed the Sharknado films. If you guys like, you know, like quirky, kind of like dark comedy, zombie type films, like with Shaun of the Dead kind of vibes to them, definitely check this out here. This is something I was really excited about when I heard this was coming out. This is from Doppelganger Releasing, and this is one of the early Wes Craven TV movies that he directed, but it got a theatrical release in the UK. I always really like this. I really love 70s TV movies. For some reason, I've always liked them. Like, I love Bad Ronald. I love Crawl Space. Some of them, for some reason, I love them so much. And this is his film, Summer of Fear. And this is the TV version of this. No, this was the theatrical version. So this version was 4 minutes shorter than the old version that was released years ago on DVD. I don't know what those 4 minutes that were not in it are. I couldn't tell for certain, though. But it's like, looks amazing. Though it's like a remastered, so it looks really good. At least to me, it looks really great. It has on here, though, a commentary track, a new interview on here with Linda Blair. I always forget too, Fran Drescher was in this. This is basically about Linda Blair and like her cousin's parents died in this terrible crash, so the cousin ends up living with Linda Blair and her family on her farm kind of house, like farm kind of house area, where she has like these horses and stuff. The second, though, this cousin gets there, she kind of like starts to kind of like try and like destroy Linda Blair's life, and like tries to steal her boyfriend, and like she kind of has a weird look to her, the way she like looks at Linda Blair, and like you can tell something's up. She finds like weird like things, and like her picture all crossed out with and burned up like in her dresser, and then like something happens with her horse and starts attacking. You can tell something is going on. There's something really weird about this cousin, and it's kind of about like her life kind of going to shambles. But I've always really loved this movie. Really glad this is on Blu-ray. I thought too it was a good, transfer and everything on this. Next one here, a bunch of new Vinegar Syndrome releases here, and some really cool titles here. The first one here is one called Blood Beat, and this is basically about I'm trying to, so I don't mix up all these, because I watched a bunch of different ones of these here. But this was about, kind of like about a hunter and this girlfriend's, the husband, the one's mother has this boyfriend that kind of she lived with for years, and the family kind of comes back to see her, and then comes back to see the mother and stuff. But the mother is always like talking about like seeing things and getting weird dojos and weird vibes off of things and stuff like that. She doesn't really like her boyfriend because the boyfriend is always hunting and killing deers and animals and stuff like that. But when she gets back, though, like the mother, like the one brings back the son brings back his new girlfriend, and the mother's like looking at her really weird, like there's something strange about her and doesn't like her. I don't like her and I don't want you around her. And the mother is like acting really strange, and really strange things are happening, and like people, it's kind of like this weird thing with the mother, and when they're all out in the house, and like odd things are happening. It's very, very strange and very hard to explain. It was kind of reminding me of that movie Blood, that one I can't remember what it was called, but it was like a cabin one. I think it was released by like Arrow Video in the UK, I think, and then it was like some of them, but I can't remember what it was called. Like it was like in a ski resort kind of thing. It was kind of reminding me of that a little bit, but it's kind of a cool one. It has on here though a 4K transfer on here. Looks amazing. That's the thing with Vinegar Syndrome; their transfers are always amazing. Has on here a commentary track with the director, video interviews, as well as the silent version of the film, stills gallery, so a bunch of different stuff on here. This one here, and they also have for these, limited edition slipcovers that you can get from them now. I think they're still available. And there's this one here is Demon Wind. And this is one that's kind of like an Evil Dead style movie, very, very similar to Evil Dead. And this is about like it's one whose grandparents died, these really weird deaths in this cabin, and he's like, for some reason he keeps on thinking, I need to go back and I need to you know, I keep having these dreams, and I need to go to this cabin so I can kind of clear my mind, and I can figure out exactly what happened, and like for some reason he's like obsessed that he has to go there. Like it's not an option of not going is not an option. He needs to go there, so he kind of ropes all of his friends into going there with him. So he has like a weird motley bunch of these friends that goes along, kind of like, okay, you know, if you need to go, we'll go with you. And so they all kind of go there, and they're kind of warned, you know, at the gas station, don't go there, you shouldn't go up there. Of course they go up there and they start messing around with things, and there's like these demons and like possession things happen. Like I said, it's very, very similar to Evil Dead, but a very, very fun movie here. And it has on here another, you know, as I said, like do with Finders, and the transfers are always amazing. This has a 2K transfer here from the 35 millimeter negative, video interview here at the producer, video interview with one of the actresses, a number of other interviews, a commentary, you know, I mean, an audio interview here with the editor. So lots of great features on these. This one here is 2 films from Roberta Findlay, and like she went on and did a lot of like sort of like softcore and X-rated films and a bunch of different stuff. I don't know. I know her husband was apparently really famous. I didn't look up what her husband had directed though. But these are 2 films here: Primeval and Lurkers. And Primeval was like these monks. Weird priesthood that were like kidnapping, like, you know, trying to sacrifice women to kind of like be ageless. Lurkers was the one that I checked out though, that I really thought was kind of interesting, because like this girl was kind of abused by her mother, and kind of the mother was always messing around with her and giving her all kinds of problems. So she's always having these weird like visions at night of these creepy like lurker characters that are very, very creepy. They're like floating around. I feel like a lot of movies kind of ripped off the look of them. They were very strange looking things, like, and then like it's her years later, and then she starts seeing visions of her mother again, and like weird stuff, and like she starts seeing things, so things start to kind of fall apart again. She's trying to figure out exactly what's going on with her life and stuff. There's some really quirky, weird films, and this one, both of these are restored in 2K as well. Has a commentary track on Primeval with the director, isolated soundtrack on Primeval, isolated soundtrack on Lurkers. On this one. This one here is a Ted V. Michaels. You know, I hadn't watched this movie in years. This one is The Corpse Grinders. And this one as well, too, looked great, though. Because this one of those ones I wasn't sure how it was going to look. Because, you know, I think it was released by Something Weird years ago on DVD. But this is always one that I thought was kind of cool. Ted V. Michaels movies always were kind of a vibe of, like, sort of like Herschel Gordon Lewis films, that sort of feel to them, that sort of vibe to them. This was basically about this cat food company that was like digging up corpses and putting them into the cat food to kind of cut costs and stuff like that. And then, like, you know, the cats that ate them were like attacking the owners. Just a really fun, crazy, you know, super cheesy movie. But it has on here though, like I said, the new 2K scan, commentary track on here with filmmaker who did American Grindhouse. Archival recordings here with Ted V. Michaels. Ted V. Michaels, TED Talks, interview with Ted Michaels from 2007. And the last one here is another film that Roberta Findlay directed. This one is an X-rated film. This one is called A Woman's Torment. It also has on here, though, the... see if there's anything I shouldn't show on here. It also has on here the R-rated cut of the movie, which is like the tame version of this movie as well, which is, you know, kind of, they always, you know, I think it plays, you know, well either way, because I was looking at some of the R-rated one as well. And this is basically, though, about this couple whose the one sister is kind of nuts, and she's like living in this place by the beach, and she's acting really, really strange, and, you know, people who are coming by there to fix things and stuff, she's like having visions of like killing them, and then they start like showing up dead. It's just a really, really strange movie about like people dying and stuff, and her sleeping with them. And like, I don't know, it's very, very adult too, though, so keep that in mind with this. But it does have the R-rated version, this one on here. Another one though, looks great, has a commentary track on here for the R-rated cut with the director, Q&A here, which is pretty interesting from this, you know, from 2017 on here. And the next one here, I'm going to let you guys know where you guys can order this one. This was so cool. This one, I keep thinking about this. I love this. I remember people had talked about this one in the past, a movie called Spookies. And this is a legitimate release. This is a Canadian release. The cover's in French, but it's all in English, though, so keep that in mind. It's actually taken from a new negative that they found. So it's a 2K scan of this. Looks amazing. This is a movie that has a lot of notorious stuff behind it because, like, it was a film that had some kind of problems with it where it was never really finished, or it was finished, but then they had, like, rights issues and had to, like, change it by adding some new scenes that they filmed. It's essentially, though, about these friends going out to this place, you know, to this kind of... the story, though, it's so all over the place because you see this kind of, like, Frankenstein-y kind of Wolfman guy wandering around, and this kid, and like on his birthday, but these friends, they go to this house, but when they're there, there's this old man in the basement saying like, oh, the sacrifices and the things that we do and the creatures and they come in the night, and he's like there with his minions and this woman that he's trying to bring back to life who's like going to be with him forever. He's kind of talking to her, and like they start, and the people in the house mess around with this Ouija type board thing, and then like creatures start to come, and they're really cool, creepy creatures. Like the effects in this are amazing, like some of the best creature effects I've ever seen of these really scary monsters. It's one of those movies, just like Eaten Alive, that feels like it was filmed in hell. And there's a couple movies that like have that vibe, like they were filmed on a soundstage in hell. And I don't know how to explain it, but this is another one that has that vibe. Just an amazing one. You can get this one on Diabolic DVD. I think it might be sold out at the moment, but I'm sure they'll be getting more of this on there. But really happy the guy that made this sent me this, because I was always wanting to see this movie. The next one here from Breaking Glass Pictures, and this one is called, you know, you can read it. It's called A-Holes. But this one definitely gives The Greasy Strangler a run for its money for being one of the weirdest things in existence. This is an exceptionally weird movie, and I absolutely loved it. But this is 110% not for everybody. And if you guys do not like really weird stuff, gross out stuff, and like stuff that deals with, like, you know, some kind of really adult stuff as well, don't watch this. But if you do, check this out. It's basically, though, about this woman who ends up having herpes that she got from, you know, a bong from her brother. And then she has herpes and then gives it to this weird guy that she meets. And then they both give each other herpes. And they're like, well, we should be together because of this. And there's these amazing scenes filmed in Times Square when they get married. And you know it was filmed with no permits. And they go into a movie theaters, you know, in the lobby of it, messing around. They're like harassing people on the street. They're going in the Forever 21 store. They're like messing around. They're acting like they're, you know, sleeping with each other in Times Square. And the thing where they do the drop the ball, where like the host and stuff, you know, stand and stuff. It's amazing. This is so weird. Lean Dietz is in this one, you know, naked, and comes out. I don't even gonna get into all of it, but it is insane. I can't even really talk about half of what happens in this, but it is amazing. I love these strange movies, but this is 110%, like I said, not for everybody. So, you know, read into it before you watch that. Next one here from Cleopatra Entertainment. This one is, David Sterling was actually one of the producers on this one. And this is Jared Cohn's new movie. It's we called Halloween Pussytrap Kill Kill. This is done like the title, like a style, like one of those 60s kind of like grindhouse type films. And this is kind of a fun movie. It's about this girl band that are, you know, getting, you know, kind of just on the verge of, you know, kind of starting to become successful. And they're going out to go to perform in this kind of big, you know, show, but they end up getting kidnapped and taken down in this weird kind of warehouse kind of facility underground, and they're tortured by this guy who you don't really know who he is, but you know he like you basically know his face is all covered up and something had happened to him, you know, and he's down there kind of torturing these people, and they kind of have to like, you know, go through these different rooms, and like you know, one of the people has to kill somebody and kind of survive and stuff down here. Just a crazy thing about like some real gory stuff going on here. The voice of the, you know, the guy who's like all bandaged up and stuff is the guy Dave Mustaine, you know, from Megadeth. I always think of his song from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey when they're driving in the car, you know, fixing the robots. But this is actually a pretty fun movie here. You know, Jared Cohn, you know, like I said, directed this one. This one here, I thought this was a pretty good haunted house movie. And this is from MVD. It's a movie called Talon Falls. And it's a real short movie too. It's only like 75 minutes, so it's a real, you know, quick watch. And I like this. I like movies filmed in haunted houses, and this was like a real, I believe it's a real haunted attraction. I need to look into the actual place that they filmed it, but it's basically, though, about these friends that are driving through, and they're trying to go to some area, but they go stop at this gas station. They're like, is there anything cool to do around here? And this guy's like, well, there's this haunted house up there. So like, oh yeah, we should go to that. And the one girlfriend's like, I don't really want to go there. It's just, and they go there. It's a very, very popular haunted house. And but then like, oh, this huge line. You see this weird guy. And he comes up to him and says, oh well, I got some bracelets. They're front of the line passes. I got 4 of them. I can give them to you. So they're like, oh, okay. And they go in. Of course, those front of the line passes mean it's going to be their death. And they, go in and discover, and they go in this haunted house and see like people, like glass opens up and you see someone getting tortured and electrocuted and stuff. And you find out in the very beginning that these are people here who are really being killed. And these people who come through with the front of the line passes, they're going to now be part of the show, getting tortured and stuff. That's why this haunted house is so realistic and crazy. And it's basically, though, it's all being videotaped and stuff. So you see videotapes everywhere and stuff, and they're like circulating them around. But it's the friends in there trying to, figure out how they're going to get out of this place and not be part of it, because they get like chained up and they put like a bell and they bring one person out. It's going to be their time to die and stuff. I don't know. I dug this one. I love haunted house type movies, filmed at real haunted house locations. The next one here. This one is from United Front Entertainment. This is a movie called Let Her Out. I'll just cover this up so nobody has anything to say about it. But it's a horror movie here. And it's basically, though, about this, in the beginning of the movie, you see this woman killed in a hotel room. She dies giving birth to this kid. And it's about this girl, though, and she starts kind of having, years later, she starts having these weird kind of like visions and like seeing like really weird dark things and stuff. And it's like something starts happening to this girl, and like she find out that there's something like growing inside of her and like kind of trying to take over. So she starts like doing like crazy things and starts like killing people and going kind of like ravagely insane and stuff. The director of this had done a bunch of other stuff like Antiviral, and a lot of people on this were like behind, like, I think that movie Bite, or a bunch of different movies. So their films are always like super, super gory, crazy kind of stuff happening, and this one is no exception. It's like the stuff that's happening to this girl and stuff. It's like that movie Contraband or Contaminated or something like that. Kind of had the same vibe as that a little bit here. This one has on here interviews with cast and crew, behind the scenes, and a commentary track on this one. These ones here from Mill Creek are some pretty cool sets here. These are some, and this is, I like this concept here, because this is Watch Around the Clock. It's a full day of broadcasts from the golden age of TV. These are color ones. It's basically 24 hours of TV that would have been airing around, like, I think it would have been like the 60s or 70s, I believe. I'm pretty sure, because I can't remember when exactly Rescue from Gilligan's Island aired, so I don't remember exactly what year this is supposed to be, but it's basically, though, like, all the stuff that would air. So it has, like, daytime, so it would have, like, the kids stuff, so, like, Popeye and Friends, Gumby, Space Angel, and then it would be, like, daytime variety, which would be, like, Rescue from Gilligan's Island, Over the Hill Gang, and then it would have, like, primetime favorites, like Rango, Mannix, so it's a kind of a cool thing, the whole idea. And it also has in here all the commercials. They also have in here Around the Clock, and these are like the black and white ones here. This one has some stuff on here for like Kids Clubhouse, like Betty Boop, Felix the Cat, Howdy Doody, and then like daytime variety, like You Bet Your Life, Who Do You Trust, The Price is Right, so like original Price is Right, and then primetime favorites like Andy Griffith Show. As well, like I said too, it has in here all the commercials and that kind of stuff as well. So a pretty cool thing here. And this set here is the new set here for the Three Stooges, the big box of Nyuks. And like I said, these are all from Mill Creek. And this has on here, one thing that's pretty cool is it has the, one of the movies it has is the live action, the 2000 biopic on the Three Stooges with Michael Chiklis in it, and I always loved that. And I think that might have come out on like Burn on Demand years ago, but it's a really well done biopic movie on the Three Stooges. But it also has on here some of the Three Stooges movies, like Rocket Will Travel, Three Stooges and Hercules, and then it has the Behind the Slapstick, which is a documentary here called Hey Mo, Hey Mo, My Dad, which was all like the documentary that Mo Howard's son put together about his father, kind of about the beginning of the Three Stooges, throughout all the years. But that was a really, really well done documentary. Also has on here 156 of the episodes of the Three Stooges cartoon, and those all had the intros with the Three Stooges as well, and the live action. But a really great set if you guys are a fan of the Three Stooges. And these ones, well, you guys know, available as well from Mill Creek. And this is a horror classic set here. This has a bunch of Hammer horror films, 2 volumes of Hammer horror, and then a volume of the Boris Karloff collection, as well as the Vincent Price collection here, as well as classic horror collection with other films from Vincent Price, Christopher Lee. So a pretty cool set here of a bunch of these together, as well as a epic fantasy collection, which is all TV films, like TV miniseries films of like the Tin Man, the 10th Kingdom, Gulliver's Travels, Merlin, and the Odyssey. So cool new sets here, some big sets here from Mill Creek. This one is pretty fun that this is available from Time Life, and this is Richard Simmons, Sweating to the Oldies. And I don't think these had ever been, at least as far as I know, been released on DVD before. They may have been, but this has all of them together in a set, as well as a picture book with pictures and stuff like that of Richard Simmons and throughout the years. But these are actually fun, fitness. If you guys know Richard Simmons, he was always really quirky too, and hopefully at some point he comes back, because he hasn't been seen in a long time. But I've always loved, I was always someone too, who was always heavy and used to actually watch these as a kid, and I know my mom had them, and I remember all the infomercials and stuff. And these are all of his exercises, like the Sweating to the Oldies, with him like dancing and exercising too, big hit older songs and stuff. But it has on here some exclusive interviews with Richard Simmons. But a pretty cool set here to have all these together like this. The last one here is a movie. The director sent me this one called All the Devils Are Here, and you guys can watch this one like on iTunes and some of that kind of stuff. I'll let you guys know when there's a DVD and Blu-ray available, but he burned me a disc of this. But this is about these friends that are going out, and there's like a weird kind of virus, kind of has a Cabin in the Woods sort of feel to it, this kind of virus going on, and people out there are all getting infected by it, and they all kind of go out to this cabin, and then like weird things and stuff like that start to happen to them, and they're like getting attacked, and then they're hiding out and trying to figure out what's going on and everything. So it's like kind of a creepy, like I said, feel to like Cabin in the Woods sort of virus kind of film. But check out the trailer for this one. It's called All the Devils Are Here, and like I said, you guys can watch this one on iTunes. Anyway though, guys, that's all for the review portion. Like I said, there's a lot here to get through. But anyway though, guys, thanks so much always for watching and subscribing and all your support, and I'll see you guys later.